A brand new era approaching Cardano right now as ADA down around 90% from its all-time high. 90%, everybody. In this video, we're going to zoom out on this chart and I'm going to talk about that 90%. I'm going to talk about how it relates to the last bear market. And I'm going to talk about and really explain why I'm so bullish on ADA, especially right now in this vicinity. And before we do, I want to go over what's going on right now. This actually lays some good groundwork in terms of Cardano and the opportunity that I think is at hand. Cardano whales accumulate as community awaits huge news. So a couple things going on here. Let's cover this first. According to whale stats, whales or large holders are accumulating Cardano's ADA as it ranks among the top 10 purchased assets for the 1,000 biggest BSC whales in the last 24 hours. Whales are typically known to accumulate during periods of dips or consolidations. Whales are typically known to do that. Whales are typically known to be buying the fear and not buying the top, but buying bear market bottom ranges. And if you're out there right now and you're accumulating crypto and dollar cost averaging, and you've done that in bear markets, you might know what I'm talking about here. You might know what these whales are doing, as it provides them the opportunity to buy at a discount. It allows the opportunity to buy at undervalued ranges. And ADA, in my opinion, this is how I see things, is extremely undervalued right now. So I'm going to touch on this on the charts. They mentioned me in this article. They said the founder, Dan Gambardella of Crypto Capital Venture, believes Cardano could run 50 to 100 times in the next bull cycle, reaching a price target of $15 in the process. I mean, they're kind of taking some things out of context, but I want to break down that point, 50 to 100x for ADA. I want to talk about that in this video. So we're going to look at that on the charts. But besides all of this happening right now, tomorrow starts a big thing. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson said he was going to make a special announcement during the Edinburgh event. This was a project he said he had been working on for the past 4 years. The Cardano creator had announced it in late October that something special was coming in November without going into further details. You might remember this. You might be waiting right now for this. The Edinburgh event the Cardano founder refers to might be IO Scottfest, the Age of Voltaire, which is scheduled for November 18th to 19th and will be streamed live from Edinburgh. Right now, as I record this video, is November 17th, so tomorrow is when this begins, the virtual event, which will celebrate the dawning of a new era for Cardano. So this is where we are, everybody. The dawning of a new era. We're talking about Voltaire and governance. Obviously, Basho and scaling just kind of came into play. We've really been tracking that, the Vassal hard fork, and tracking the scalability story, and that is still in play. That is still happening. Cardano is scaling, but now getting ready to go into this governance phase. Cardano setting itself apart from the rest of crypto because of what you see on the screen. Byron Shelley, the best staking mechanism in crypto, in my opinion. Goguen and smart contracts, Basho, and now Voltaire coming up. So all of this happening, and this is, I say this a lot, but it really is the most compelling foundation to any cryptocurrency right now to have in a bear market. All of this technologically, fundamentally sound progress for a blockchain while it's down 90% in a bear market, along with everything else. Everything is down. The fact that Cardano is doing all of these things and plugging away, and it's undervalued, as we just saw, whales scooping in. If you go and look at just some on-chain metrics, look at the ADA wallets and delegators continuing to rise. Look at total percent staked of ADA still hovering, that 71, 72% range. Cardano network, absolutely fine right now. And actually, with all of the mess happening in the crypto space and all of, FTX falling, Celsius, Luna, everything that I'm talking about, and we have this sound Cardano blockchain continuing to build, now we start kind of, in my view, getting into that territory that I've just been talking about for so long on this YouTube channel. Why Cardano ADA has such a strong value proposition for me as an investor. So here we are on the charts. I mentioned in the beginning of this video, and we're going to track the next couple of days and the big news coming out. I'm not even going to speculate on what it is, but when we look at these charts, I mentioned the 90% fall, and this is the grueling bear market we've been in. This isn't the first bear market crypto has been in, and it's not going to be the last. And in terms of percentage down, this is quite normal, right? And that's happening while actually we're going through a really terrible time outside of crypto, right? And just traditional finance. and everything going on. Crypto has not experienced this yet. So this is happening while that mess is going on. And I think Cardano is really hanging in there. Now, here's what's compelling. We're down 90% right now, just around 90%. And we're in this range of like 30, 32 cents. We can call it 30 to 33 cents. If you look back, I just want to note this area was kind of a rally area in the middle of the last bear market, meaning Cardano, you can see, just fell 90% at the beginning of the bear market, rallied up to this general range where we are now, and the bear market was kind of still just getting started. Now, this is what is so phenomenal in my view, is the fact that everything that I'm looking at, and this is also bringing in Bitcoin data, Bitcoin falling below the 786 line. If you watch my YouTube channel, this is a huge data point we've been tracking really for years on this YouTube channel. We've fallen below the 786 line, that yellow line, and this is an area Bitcoin bottoms out in its bear markets. We've entered that area, meaning in my view, we're in the bottom range of the bear market. Now, likely months away from exiting the bear market, but we're in bottom range right now. And so if we're in bottom range right now, and we've just entered bottom range, and we're actually at this general vicinity where Cardano ADA was trading in a rally at kind of the beginning of the last bear market, this just shows you the macro progress that ADA has made. And for me, that really makes things get kind of exciting, especially now at this point of the bear market. I think there's still some pain ahead. I think there's a lot of volatility ahead, and it could go on for months, as we just talked about. But in my view, we are nowhere near where we were right here with all of this mess and pain ahead. So from that macro standpoint, I think we've made a lot of progress on the macro, right? So meaning right now, we're entering a starting point, a reset cycle. And who knows exactly how low Cardano ADA will go, but when we zoom out, in my view, in the years to come on this chart, whether we bottom out now and just kind of start moving up on the macro, or we even come down to like 20 cents and then bottom out and start going to the macro, when you zoom out, it will have looked so obvious where we are right now and the opportunity that is in play. And I'm not trying to convince you of anything, everybody, but I simply create this content to put my thoughts on crypto and my interests out there, because it's just what I enjoy doing, and it's why I started this YouTube channel. But let's start digging in here and let's start looking at some of these charts. So what I want you to notice is this: if we look at this weekly chart and everything we just talked about on the macro, and we open up the momentum oscillator, if you look at where Cardano is on the momentum oscillator, we've just kind of been like in this range, really, from this swing low all the way back here in May of 2022. And I want to show you where that is on the chart. That is really this huge fall for Cardano, right? So right here was a huge fall. We've put in a lower low since that happened on this time frame. And all the while, if you look at this, you can see Cardano actually putting in a higher low from that initial swing low. So on the macro, we're actually starting to see some bullish divergence. And there's no telling where this RSI will go next and if it will break this previous level, but there's a very, very strong potential that this will be the lowest the RSI goes on this chart. That's something we're going to track. But right now, kind of bullish divergence on the macro. Obviously, we were kind of testing this previous swing low. We're going to track that. But right now, I think that momentum oscillator is probably one of the most telling things happening on the macro chart, along with everything else. But if we start digging in now in the charts for Cardano, here's what I'm watching on the more short to mid-term. Again, everybody, there's so much volatility. I did a video a couple of days ago talking about the rally that could be in play for crypto, and I genuinely think that the rally, it still is in play, but the other day was very much in play, and I think was getting ready to actually start happening, and then boom, all of a sudden, there was this news about Poland and the bomb that happened, the bomb that went off. So that kind of just destroyed all momentum. And these are the events that seem to keep happening, whether they're huge events in crypto or outside in the world. These events do happen on the micro, and they really do affect charts. They really do affect momentum. Here's what I'm watching, though, for crypto. The rally, in my view, is still in play. For Cardano ADA, there's just simply two areas I'm watching. these moving averages, which is the areas that we've been watching this whole bear market. How does Cardano interact with these moving averages? The green is the 20-day, the 50-day is blue. Right now to the upside to even test that. It's a 10 to 15% rally for ADA to test that. It's a rally. Continuing on, if this ends up being a larger rally, if it happens, the biggest trend lines I'm looking at are the trend lines of the triangle that we've been tracking. Now that triangle, and I wanted to speak on this in this video, is it's still in play, the target. We noted that the target is below 30 cents. So we still have another 15% or so in play. But at the same time, I think the triangle really, we got a lot of usefulness out of it, right? Because we broke the trend line to the downside. We retested that trend line. It gave us a lot of caution when that happened for the continued downtrend, which we got. We almost got capitulation to the target, right? So there still is a 15% range or so in play to hit kind of a more true target, a more realistic target for that triangle. But either way, the triangle is, I think we can almost be done using it, but we're still going to continue to watch a drop below 30% or below 30 cents. And if that happens, I think the triangle will officially kind of just, we can delete it and we can start looking for new structure. Now, new structure is kind of already beginning to be in play. Imagine we get a rally, right? We kind of have this break to the downside, this pullback, then we have a break to the downside. And if we get another pullback, what do we start seeing happening potentially? An inverse head and shoulders. Now, this can really play out in a matter of months, and it's extremely speculative. It could be around halfway formed, but we have to track that very cautiously. It is speculative, but either way, we're looking for structure now as Cardano trades, and a lot of that structure is going to come off the back of everything that's going on with S&P 500. S&P 500 just hitting its lower high resistance. Is that going to continue falling? What's going to happen with the stock market? What's going to happen with US dollar currency index after falling for a while? Is it going to rally once again? If that happens, risk on assets like Cardano likely going to fall, and we're going to start putting in lower lows. So this is everything that I'm tracking on Cardano. You go to a 6 hour. One thing I want to note once again in regards to the rally, the 6 hour momentum oscillator kind of gives us a sense of what is potentially in play. Right now, we're getting these higher lows on the 6 hour momentum oscillator. If you go back and you look at when Cardano was doing that out of oversold area, it kind of led to a rally each time. The size of those rallies kind of varied, right? But each time it kind of did that with these higher lows you see there on the momentum oscillator, slower moving momentum oscillator, Cardano ADA rallied, right? So that is something that is in play right now, and it kind of lends itself to what we just talked about, the potential rally. So I know you might be watching this video like, so we could go up and test those trend lines, 15 plus, maybe even 30% rally, or we could go down 15%. What are you trying to say, Dan? And that is what I'm trying to say. Those are our targets. Visualize it. Put yourself in that world. Put yourself in that world of uncertainty. That's what I'm doing. This is how I see the charts. It's visualizing and putting yourself in these worlds, because this whole entire bear market, we've been tracking targets to the upside and downside. But that's just the thing. We've been waiting for downside. Time and time again, we've been really hopeful that the rallies would just deliver for us. But we know that the downside targets were always there. And so it really helps me kind of put into play an action plan through the bear market, because we're in a bear market. It just takes a while to get through it. You go over to Bitcoin on the Bitcoin chart, we were talking about this 786 line being broken for just months, right? And it finally got broken. And now in my view, we're in this bottom range. Bitcoin has a target to around $12,000. What would that do to Cardano ADA? If crypto's falling at that type of range, ADA is going to be falling pretty dramatically, but I think that's going to be it. And so we're getting very close, in my opinion. ADA could just capitulate like crazy, but I think that's going to be it. I think we're getting very close to that bottom for ADA. Is it possible that the bottom is in? Obviously, but I'm kind of basing my roadmap for crypto right now off of this Bitcoin chart. And that applies to all altcoins, and it applies to Cardano ADA. I'm prepared. We're going to track these charts, see if we get this rally to the moving averages here, or these trend lines, the confluence of those trend lines, or if we get this kind of final fall to actually meet in the shorter term the target out of the triangle. So that's what I'm watching for Cardano ADA. But at the end of the day, everybody, it's the same thing. Zoom out on those charts. And I have to touch on this. I've been saying, as an example, $15, a $500 billion market cap for Cardano. So realistic. Ethereum was there. We saw Ethereum there already. We've already seen how Cardano and its blockchain and the community and this technology stacks up against Ethereum. It's not about putting the two against each other, but in my view, it's no contest. And so that market share is just sitting there for ADA in this next cycle. Even a $500 billion market cap in the next cycle, I think is possible and it's achievable. So yeah, in regards to that article, what it was saying, you know, and quoting me and kind of saying I said a 50 to 100x, it is possible. But I want to say this, I haven't yet done a video about what all-time highs to really look for Cardano. I haven't done like that type of prediction thing yet. And I'm going to put some numbers out there. $15 will be part of it, but there's going to be surrounding context to that. So 50 to 100x, I guess if you want a nice headline, you want some good content for an article, they can say that. But a 50x is around a $500 billion market cap. So the lower end of that range is just something, even in the next cycle, that I think is realistic. I wouldn't necessarily say it's my definite target. And then on the long term, everybody, $1 trillion market cap, when trillions, tens of trillions are coming into crypto, 100% realistic in my view as well. Not saying that for next cycle though. But those are my thoughts. This was a longer video than I wanted to do, but I figured we could do a catch-up video. Nothing, if you look at just the zoomed in chart, nothing really happening with ADA, but a lot happening with Cardano and this event happening in the next couple of days. So we'll track it. We'll see what the news is, and we'll continue watching this network grow as crypto kind of goes through this bear market. I appreciate all of you for coming by. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.